All right. Hey, Shalom. We give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the Akim, to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing this truth and faith and in sincerity. I'm the brother Shemala from the GMS Houston Camp. And this lesson is going to be a quick Hebrew lesson going into the meaning behind the Hebrew alphabets. All right. As you can see, what it says is learning the meaning behind, all right, the Hebrew alphabets. All right. And you got the Abaryath, which is, you know, Hebrew. Right. That is the Hebrew way of saying the word Hebrew. Right. Abaryath, which means language of the past or from the past. All right. So go to the next slide. Introduction. Today we will learn the meaning of the Lashon Kodash alphabet and how it was written. All right. You see, you got the little, teacher right there with the Hebrew alphabets right on the board, and you got the people with the question marks, meaning, hey, they trying to learn. Hey, what's going on? All right. So let's get into it. All right. So the first character, ah, right, which is written this way, ah, and it's alap, right? That's what it means. But the definition of the word alap means cattle or 1,000, right? Because it's a cattle's head. You can see this cattle right here. It's cow, whatever. Right, you turn it to the side, rotate it. It looks just like this. All right. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. Um, all of the Hebrew characters, right, doesn't have meanings, meaning that we don't know all of them. We will get the full, understanding of our language when we get back, to our land, which will be in the kingdom of heaven. That's when all things will be restored because we were in captivity. We lost our language. So, we don't know it, perfectly, but all of these things is through faith. Right? The Lord has given us back, the Hebrew, right? The language, right? But we will receive it in its entirety in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So, right. The next character, Ba, right, which is Bayath, which is house, right? Which this is a modern house, which back then it would have been something like a tent. All right. Next is you have Ga, right? That's how it was written. That's how you pronounce it. Ga, Gamal, which is a camel. Da, that's how it was written. That's how it is pronounced. Dalath, which is door, right? And you see the the door of this tent right here, right? It looks similar. Then you have Wa, right? Wa, which is Wawa, which means hook, as in fish hook. And you can see you got the hook displayed right there. All right. Then you have the Za, how it's written, how it's pronounced, Za. Zayan, which means a weapon, right? And you can see the weapon looks similar to the character. Now, because that was the idea when Adam was naming everything in the beginning. He named it. Well, the drawings was basically based off of what he's seen because he named everything, and the drawings was kind of similar to what he's seen. It wasn't an exact, but kind of similar, right? And you have Yah, right? This is how it was written, which is the smallest character in the Hebrew. The Yah is how it's pronounced. Then there's Yad, which means hand. And you can see kind of like how this hand resembles the character, right? Then you have Ka, that's how it's written, that's how it's pronounced. Kap, which is the palm of hand. And you can see this symbol in the middle, right here in the palm. That's where it comes from. That's what it means. Then you have the Ma, how it's written, how it's pronounced. Mayam, which means water, right? See that it resembles waves, right? So it means that you have the Sa, right? How it's written, how it's pronounced. Samak, which means support or like a flag support, right? And you can see the image right here, right, resembling that character. Then you have the I, how it is written, how it is pronounced. Ayun, which means eye, the actual eye. And you can see that the character looks like the pupil, right? Although I didn't draw it perfectly, because I'm not an artist, but that's what it represents. Right? Then you have the pa, how it is written, how it's pronounced, then it's pa, right? And it means mouth. And you can see that's an open mouth right here. That's what that character represents. Then you have Ra, how it is written, how it is pronounced, Ra'ash, which is head, right? That's all it represents is a head. Then you have Shah, how it is written, how it is pronounced, and it's Shan, and it means tooth, right? You can see the bottom of the tooth right here, and it looks just like that, right? Well, this part will actually be the bottom of the tooth. This will be the top of the tooth, depending on, how you're looking at it. But this is the root. That's what they call it. All right, but then you have ta, how it is written, and how it is pronounced. Dawa, which means a sign, right? And it means exactly that, sign or the end, right? But the sign, you can put a sign on there that says this, go this way, or this town is here, right? You are this far from, whatever. It's a sign, right? And you know, hey, that was the whole lesson, right? Like I said, it's gonna be something quick. As the next slide say. Hey, and that's all, folks. All right, if you ever watch Looney Tunes, the little pig will come up and say this and that, but I didn't want to put the pig in there, right? It's abominable, abominable animal. You should know that. I didn't want to use the pig. So, hey, that's all, folks. Hey, I hope that you, Akyam, and your Akwath, were able to, learn something from this. And I hope that it was very simple for you to understand. All right, and with that, I'm gonna say shalom.